Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Bricks King podcast, where I'm going to bend your ear about Lego, review those amazing bricks of plastic, and discuss what is new and up and coming around the Lego world. I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it. Welcome in, everybody. How you doing today? Doing quite lovely myself. We're back with more Lego City things. The goodness, the greatness that continues to be Lego City. And honestly, as we talked about on the last city episode that we did, just this continuation of things that you can throw into a city if you have one. If you don't, you have a place to start. I mean, there's just endless amounts of things that you can do with just the city theme itself to create your own city, to, piggyback off of something somebody else did. You see something online, you see something in a YouTube video, you see something in a blog, and you're kind of like, you know what? I kind of want to do that my own way, but I can take a city bus, or I can take, a burger truck, and I can turn it into that, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, there are so many ways that you can just add on to, and designers will tell you, mockers will tell you, that is a really great way to start, to really build your own things is just to, piggyback off of some of the things that are already out there that, have already been created, like the bus that we're going to talk about today. The double-decker sightseeing bus. Definitely not something you see here in the United States, if ever. Well, I guess you shouldn't say if ever. There are some really old school cultural regions that have them, just not very common. 60407 is the set number, has 384 pieces and retails for $30, 30 euros. Now, the nice thing about this, it's been a few years since we've had a city bus. The last one, I believe, was more yellow than anything. I do like this. This definitely feels like a more of a European bus, a British, English, UK style bus. I'm a big fan of the way this one looks. Plus, it has 2 tiers and it comes off super simple. So on the exterior of the bus, the first thing that you notice is the endless amounts of stickers. You have stickers on each side that show a cityscape that's a city tour. On the rear end of the bus, there's a giant sticker that is back here that shows a city with the red bus and then its travel locations and stuff like that, notated by a flag and then points of interest. If you are entering the bus, so this is what kind of led me to believe, is this an American version bus or is this a European style bus? Because the steering wheel's on the left-hand side. It's on the left in the United States. Doesn't necessarily, I guess, mean that you're going to be driving on that side, but it would make the most sense as the door. You don't want the door facing the middle of traffic. So honestly, I imagine there's a way that you could flip-flop this and do a complete 180 and put everything on the one side, on the opposite side. So you're basically just adjusting the doors and the windows for the most part, because the build for 99% of this is, pretty much identical, and it's not anything that you're going to have to be like, oh my God, what do we do? So on the right-hand side of the bus, as you are looking at it, or whatever. Anyway, so you have your door to enter. You actually have 2 options. So you have your door right here, which is a single door, or you have your double glass door that opens as well into the middle of the bus, where your pilot sits, your driver sits, your sightseeing tour guide driver guy sits. He has a spot. He's got a steering wheel. He has some gauges that are stickers down below there. And then he has 2 seats behind him. Then you have your space where people are entering and exiting. And by the way, this is a really cool thing. Your baby stroller, okay, because you do get a baby stroller here. Your baby stroller, there is a clip here, and you can actually clip your baby stroller into it so that it doesn't roll away. Thus the reason for the double doors. So you can do that. Your stroller can also fit on the top, and we'll talk about that when we get to the top. Anyway, you close up those doors. Everybody's on board. Honk, honk, off you go. There is one more seat that is towards the rear before you take the very narrow stairway to the very top of the bus, which we'll get to in a moment. On the back end of the bus, you have this giant sticker that is of the robot of the ride that we talked about on the last city episode, the roller coaster ride. It says visit today. Then you have another one down below there with a door that swings upward, and it says city tour on it. That is your engine compartment bay where you have your rechargeable battery piece that is in here. It is the 1x2 tile that is printed. So nothing wild or anything in there, but it's just to be like, oh, hey, I've got to charge this, or hey, I've got to replace this. I've got to do whatever I've got to do. So up above, by the way, you do have lights on the back end. You have lights on the front. Nice tiling on the very front of this as well. On the very top, more open air luxury this time. So what you have is you have a multiple setting of seats. You have 5 of them here. Now, all of the seats on this bus, aside from the driver, are separated by a 1x2 grill piece. So that is really nice. And here is why. You have an opportunity to be able to sit every minifig in there without it feeling too jam-packed and tight, right? You don't get out of a seat and not be able to step on the floor. It's not a thing on a bus. It's not a thing on a plane, although it's probably closer to a plane than on a bus. However, so you have that. But the nice thing about it is, with that extra little kind of jump in there, that little extra spacing in there, it allows you to actually put a stroller in that seat. So mom, dad, whomever, bus driver guy, he can hold the stroller with the baby in it if he so chooses. Now, getting your stroller to the top is going to take a work of muscular feet. As I told you, it is a very narrow space for the stairway to go up, make a 180-degree turn, and go back up the opposite direction. It is what it is. It's fictional. It's meant to be play and stuff like that. Anywho, the very front of this I found absolutely fascinating, and here is why. There is a little spot that has a little couple click hinges here, and it opens up. And then you have this rotating surface. And it says the following things. These are prints, by the way. It says park, downtown, museum, or harbor. So we've already talked about, well, we will talk about the harbor here. Downtown, you've got your own downtown. You've got a park you could go to. You got the museum, right? We've already got the museum this year, the Natural History Museum. Like, how cool is that? So you could do that. Anyway, that just spins there. You set it how you want. Put the covering back down. You can move it with the covering up or down. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't lock it into place. So that is a thing. But the top end of this only is held on by 6 studs. It's a pretty nice little build. I like the way it looks. It's sleek. It fits well into a city. It's more of a traditional kind of like a 4-wide build. You would probably say 6-wide if you talk about the mirrors, but it's a nice little narrow build, but it's a fun addition to the Lego City lineup. So we've got mom and we've got baby. Mom's got her little short flared out hair here. And she's only got a single face. It's kind of the standard female smiling face with a little bit of lipstick. The nice nougat pants. I do like these. She's wearing some kind of flowery top underneath of her jacket. It must be chilly because everybody's got some kind of top on. I guess it's just chilly in general. Sidebar here. This past weekend was the 24 hours of Le Mans. And of course, it's one of those things where I stay up the full 24 hours and I watch the entire thing from start to finish. I'm just fanatical about it. I didn't realize, and I realized how far Europe is up on the globe, how far the parallel is that they are sitting on. And, you know, the race was going on. It was in the middle of the night. Track temperature, they were like, the track temperature is getting down to about 7 or 8 degrees. This is, Celsius, not Fahrenheit. So I'm Googling it. I'm like, oh crap, that is cold. It is some cold weather, which is not good for race car tires. If you know anything about racing, you don't want cold. Anyway, not that kind of cold. The funny thing is, I was like, I had this immediate, oh my God, I get it now. Now I understand why so many minifigs, especially in the city lineup, have jackets. I'm like, it's cold up there. It's June. It's the middle of June, and people are. It's 20 or 44 degrees is what it was, I think, in Fahrenheit. For those of you that need a reference, that's cold. I'm not going outside at 44 degrees to watch a race. I don't think so. I understand that might be kind of normal, but for summer, oh dear God, no. So now I understand. When they put these kind of prints on minifigs of Lego City, I'm kind of like, okay, now it makes sense. I get it. I understand it now. I don't agree with it, but I get it. Anyway, but yeah. Hey, Paris. Whew. not Paris, Le Mans, whatever the town is. I can't remember the specific town. Y'all are up there. Anywho, moving along. Baby stroller, baby in the stroller, white baby, white clothes. And you've got your baby here in the stroller with the handle. 4 wheels, like I said, there's a spot to clip it in on the bus. You have another little sightseer here guy with his beard and his glasses and his, what are those hats called? The golfer hats, like Payne Stewart wore one. And of course, Payne Stewart is on my mind. The US Open was yesterday. He won it, 25 years ago, I think? It was an incredible Open. I know people are like, golf. I found my way into golf lately, and I'll tell you, can be quite interesting, especially when it comes down to the wire like it did yesterday. However, he is holding a mobile device of some kind of portable phone. He has got a very flowery kind of feel pattern, but it's not flowers. It's stars and like green leaves. So you have that. You have your other sightseeing female here, and she's got her eyes closed on one face, and she's got her eyes open on the other. She's got big, puffy, bumpy hair. I love this hair piece. It just works with some, not all, but it definitely works with her here. She does have a camera, and she's got a print on her belt. For her belt, she's got a print of the hoodie that she is wearing. I do like that. And then we come down to your driver/tour guide guy. He looks young, but he definitely has quite a bit of smile lines, and he's also got some gray eyebrows, indicating that he is more of an older gentleman, which is kind of good, I guess, to a certain degree, because you want to know the most information about the place that you are touring. You're not usually going to trust a 21-year-old to know exactly all the historical accounts and details of a location. He comes with a microphone. Of course he does. Anywho, he's got his kind of little train conductor, bus conductor hat on, whatever you want to call it, bus driver, bus tour guide guy. And he's wearing a vest with a nice tie here, and he's got a little name badge, but you cannot see the name on it. Love this set for $30. I think it's a winner. What you are getting here, I think, is a really great addition to your Lego City. A standalone thing, yeah, it's probably not the most enjoyable as far as play for a kid. Most kids aren't going to be like, I want to play with the bus, Mom. No, nobody wants to play with the bus. It's a nice addition. And the cool thing about it is with the red and the black livery and even the line of yellow through it, maybe it's a Belgian bus. There's so many opportunities to mock it, to change it, and just add your own little details. So I do like that. So moving along, we're going to talk about this next one. It's another big play set, and it's called the Car Transporter. 60408 has 998 pieces. Y'all just can't give me $9.99, huh? Just give me that one little extra. Come on, it'd be fun. And it retails for $100 and €100. Now, if you harken back a week or so to the last Lego City episode that we did, we talked about the Lego, the yellow Lego truck, the actual Lego group, Lego store delivery truck, whatever you want to call it. We had talked about that. And the interesting thing about it is you essentially have a remake of that truck right here, just with a car carrier version. Obviously, the trucks look different, but the similarities are length, width, playability, the building scale of it, the same idea of it. And if you remember, what I had mentioned is you get very much a big time feel of nostalgia, of playing with like actual toy trucks as a kid. If you were around at that point in time, I know most kids don't play with toy trucks now. They do it online. They drive trucks on, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what game, truck simulator games, right? I've played that a few times. Anywho, really nice addition to Lego City. Nice addition to the play idea of things as well. So we're going to go through the vehicles first. There are 3 cars that come with this, and I'm going to go through each minifig with the car because they are in that build process, build bag, whatever you want to call it. I think there were two bags for each one of these cars, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, what do you get? Well, the first car that we're going to talk about here is your black and yellow with yellow flames, old school kind of race car. Very much feels like a 50s style, 60s, early maybe 60s style. Nah, probably more 50s. Love the way this looks. Hot rod, street rod, My nephew loves these things. Very, very fascinating in the way that this build was done, kind of in general. So in the front, you've got this mean look to it. Believe it or not, there's actually clipped-on pieces that are attached to what I guess you wouldn't call the lower splitter or whatever. Kind of a unique way of doing that. And then the interesting thing about cars of this age, of this model, they had really unique rounded bodies. They had really unique curves and angles to them. And in the front of this, because on some bumpers, you had kind of more of like a pointed idea on the sides of the bumpers. And they do that here with the one, you could call it a shark's tooth, an animal tooth or whatever. It's a 1x1 plate that has the kind of like a toenail that sticks out. So there you've got that. You've got your lights in the front. Inside, you can take off the hood, the front hood, and you can get to the engine piece that is in here. It's just a single solid piece in here, the little blower fan idea that is in there. It's held in by one stud. You can put that back on. The idea with that is if you wanted, we've seen this before in Lego City, the different engine pieces, you could modify and make your own engine, just a 2x2 and drop it in there, however you want to do it. So that is nice. We have a swept back windshield in the front and the rear here, a black top that comes off. Inside, you have a red interior, which is really nicely done, and a red steering wheel. Your minifig that comes with this, because I'm going to put him right back in, this guy, he's got his sideburn hair with his widow's peak going on. He's got some nice sideburn pieces that are coming down here. Nice little smirk of a smile on his face, and he's got his orange tinted glasses. Comes with a black, it looks like a bomber jacket. So he's got his black jacket, and he's got some kind of printed logo on his nice little teal shirt there. So I am a fan of that. And let's put the top back on. On the sides are stickers where you have your your flames. They're printed on flames. You know what I mean? Now, as you move further back, you get to the section where you have your wheels. Okay. Your rear wheels are hidden. You only see the very bottom of them sticking out. It's essentially only the rubber piece. They are much smaller than the front because they don't need to be shown. They don't need to be decorated or anything like that because they are covered by the body panel on the side. I like that. It's kind of interesting. If you flip it upside down and you look inside of there, you're kind of like, that is a weird looking build. A lot of weird kind of stacking idea that is going on there. And then you just kind of have this wheel assembly attached on. At the rear, you have a nice little deck covering for the rear lid here. Your tail lights actually can spin because they are on Technic pins. So those can rotate around, which I don't know why you would want that. But the big trunk area, the big deck lid area, nice swept back car. I'm a big fan of the way that one looks. If I had a Lego City, that would be something that I would put on the street out in front of like the jazz club, or I'm trying to think, I'm having trouble pulling modulars. Maybe the more recent garage that we had, the gas station, that would fit kind of with that era. Before we move any further, we've got to take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment. We move on to the purple sports car here. Very aggressive looking, not as futuristic as the other one that we're going to talk about, but again, gives me some almost weird kind of Mustang, modified Mustang, old Mustang, late 60s kind of feel here, which is kind of bizarre. In the front, we've got some metallic grille pieces, some lights. You've got your turn signal lights here, forward rake of the assembly here, which is, I just love the way this is done. You have essentially a nice sloping that is down on the side, but in the very center, in the front of the hood, it is just flat, and I love it. Then we have a Nexo Knights tile, shield tile here, and it has a sticker on it. This car is mainly purple, by the way. The color scheme is all pretty much purple and some black and silver, and then it has a white roof, which we'll talk about in a moment. Anyway, engine assembly can come back out if you want it to. Nice mirrors on this one, by the way. Just simple little quarter rounds, but I love it. Stickers down the side with the same logo that is on the engine. Pop the hood off, or the roof off. You get a look on the inside. Not a whole lot going on. Some darker brown interior here with the steering wheel. Your minifig has a darker brown shirt, dark blue pants, puffy hair and happy smile. So with a gray jacket. So just kind of feeling the racing vibes, I guess. Just behind where the roof pops off, we do have some more white pieces that are here that give you that kind of that aerofoil feel sticking out of the rear of that, getting that downforce effect behind it. We have a black wing on the rear as well. And then you have some, I do appreciate they haven't really been doing stickers for like license plates and stuff like that on these kind of sets. I appreciate that. I don't know why I appreciate that. It just feels almost like it's too cluttered or forced sometimes. I'm appreciative that they didn't do it here this time. But the rear assembly on this is kind of unique in the way that it is attached. You can kind of see a little bit of that orange poking through though on the rear end. If you're looking for it at a certain angle, it definitely shines. Not my favorite thing about it. However, nice car. You also have the wheel wells that are kind of flared out there. So that is nice. It's a nice addition to just kind of create the illusion, the idea of it being kind of more of a sleek race car. Then we move on to the big orange and black behemoth here. Feels like it's should be a McLaren of some kind. It is not. It feels like a more futuristic car with its sleek look and some interesting just design ideas here with it. In the front of this, we do have a splitter that is in the front. Some nice rounding edges here as well. This little guy, his engine, his engine's not meant to come out, so there is no engine swapping here. If you wanted to, you would have to definitely modify this quite a bit. I'm pretty sure the entire assembly, there's nothing underneath. It's just stacked up upon in the front. So you have an orange center and black lines, racing stripes, if you will, kind of down that middle section. That leads you into this very sleek glass, blacked out, smoked glass cockpit. Inside you have this girl. She is not who I expected to be driving this car. Not at all. She's got two faces. She has one with a smirk. She's wearing glasses, red framed, pink framed glasses. And on the other side, it's kind of a little bit of a face of worry, like a little bit of concern. She's wearing what looks like a suit, honestly. Frankly, she should be with the Jungle Crew, is where she should be. So that's kind of fascinating in its own right. Anyway, blonde ponytail hair, and she's driving this car. On the interior, got steering wheel, of course. All of these are only one person wide. And you have some orange interior mixed with a little bit of the tan, and it's perfect for her ponytail to be able to fit nicely in there. We have another black rear piece here just behind the windshield, another slope, and then we have some grooved pieces. These modified, what do you want to call it? They're 1x4s, but they have the ridges in it. Usually we see them for some kind of gearing, steering gears and stuff like that. But kind of the shark tooth thing that is going on in there. And then the rear deck is black. The nice thing, my favorite thing about this, the rear is okay as well. Looks kind of similar to the last one that we talked about. My favorite thing about this car is on each side, there are no stickers on this one. On each side of the cockpit of the whatever where she is driving, you have a black section that runs across the top, just where the windshield is, the bottom of the base of the windshield is. And then you have this opening, this brick built opening. It's intentional and it looks sharp. It looks futuristic. It looks like potentially, if the engine is back there, that, that is your section where, you can have, the airflow going into the radiators and stuff like that to cool off the engine and all of that. So that's nice in its own right. Then we move on to the truck. Huge, super long, massive vehicle. The connection point is the same as with the Lego truck that we had talked about. They have that fairly new piece where the ball joint kind of just clicks right in there. So much nicer than it used to be. There were so many problems with the last one where the pin would come out. It'd be a pain in the butt. Sorry, I'm trying to get his hair out of here. So let's get to the minifig here. Your minifig, he's got another one of those Payne Stewart hats. We're 2 for 2 on sets with those. They seem to be becoming more common. He also does have a spiky hair piece as well, if you want his spiky hair instead. Makes him look a little younger than with the hat. The hat makes him feel a little older than maybe what he is. He's got a jacket on as well. Feels like a fighter pilot jacket without all the patches. You definitely feel the vibe of the fur there along the collar, and he's got a blue shirt on underneath. This rig actually does have a spot for 2 minifigs. You can have him and a co-pilot, or what did they want to call them? I know there's tandem driving and stuff like that for some of this stuff. So you have that here. Steering wheel, printed cheese wedge piece with some gauges. So on the outside, let's start in the front again. On the outside, nice little decoration and detail. They've done a really good job here of using just kind of unique pieces. This definitely, and I don't know if this is a Chris Stamp design, but I'm telling you right now, this feels like a Chris Stamp design. It feels very much Speed Champions like in the front of this truck, with all of these just little pieces that we usually wouldn't see on the front of a Lego City vehicle. We're talking about cheese wedges, and we're talking about, I guess they're 1x4 plate, modified plate brick thing with that allows for this opening and stuff between the cheese wedge and itself. And it is turned into, it looks incredible. I appreciate the little details like this. You have some rounded 1x1s that are in here. You've got some of the little T-bars that go in here. You have a grill piece in the front, but nothing looks traditional. Nothing. It feels intentional to a certain degree, where you have, steps for the driver to be able to get up, either on the rear or on the front. All of the things in the front, everything is intentional looking. Obviously, it was intentional in the way that it was designed. But my point is, it feels nice. It's nice to have little details like this. It's $100 set, but it's nice to be able to have that just due to the fact that it's not just a city vehicle. The entire cab section on the top of the cab comes off. You do have a little wing up there, brick-built wing, to be able to pass the air over the top of the transporter trailer in the rear. Behind that section, we have another med kit tile here. We have a fire extinguisher, and we have red and yellow connection points. They're just 1x1 round plates for your connection of wires and cables and cords and hoses and all that kind of stuff. The bed of the truck, really not much special there. I do like the sloping that they use above the wheels, and then the sloped trans piece, the red trans piece for the light. That is nice. Your trailer has 2 feet that can kick down, just like on the Lego store truck. So you have that. Those can be put up and stowed. Again, another idea here of connection points. So there is a spot where there are 2 open studs to be able to connect makeshift hoses, like we talked about with the whip piece that they used on the Lego truck. You could do that. Now, for the fun, for all the good awesomeness, right? This trailer is double-deckered. You have plenty of spaces for cars. You have actually more room for cars than what you need. You could actually put on an extra car if you so desired. I did, however, mess about, and I tried to put the bus on. The bus actually will fit on here. It is going to be a steep climb to be able to get him on the top, but it is definitely doable. You have a rear section here that folds down. When it is not being used, you just fold it back up and it plate locks into place, so it's not in the way. Anyway, that is your transporter piece to be able to get them onto the first, on the lower level, and on the top level. So this is just simply hinged. It's nothing really weird. No weird pieces or anything like that is used to be able to maneuver this. And the way it is done, the front section of this, you have some upright pieces. Those are simply just to be supports, your pivot point. So it pivots from there, and all you do is you press the back end down, just gently, because the back section, it has extending pieces from the bottom to the top section as well. but they are Technic pinned in. And on the bottom, it's a really ingenious design in the way that they did this. They have some axles, some Technic axles that are down underneath the bed of this. And all that does is that section just glides along there and stops. It's an incredibly brilliant design. You drive your car up on there, you place your car, you can get one up there, you can get two up there. You can't get three, but if you made a smaller car, maybe you could get something compact up there, maybe an ATV, a UTV of some kind. Anyway, you pop that up. Now you're like, oh my God, now what? It keeps falling down. Here's the genius part of it. Okay, that rear section, it has two clips and it locks into place, holds it up. Now, when you're playing with it, that's why I said you put the rear tail section down, the section that you're using to drive your ramp section. Put that there, bang, bida, bada, buddha, bunga, whatever, done. And it adds an extra support in case for some reason it would come unclipped. I have yet to have it unclipped. I have yet to have that happen. Anyway, you drive your other cars up. There is a section that you actually have a multitude of sections in here to be able to stick your vehicles that are in here. You have different locations on the bottom to be able to put cars. You have a location towards the front. Not really a super easy way to be able to get a car in there. It's really not meant for that. It's more so you could imagine that it's meant for something else, a different vehicle of some sort. There's all kinds of different things that you could do with it. There is one thing that I did forget to mention, and it is the under the cab. The cab, just like on the Lego truck, where the Lego truck you had the front be able to move forward so you can get to the engine. This, because it's a flat-faced front truck, the engine is underneath. So it's only held on by a few studs. Pop it forward as it's clipped into place, and you can see the engine, the top of the engine that is in there with the roller skate pieces that are used in there. And you can do some work on it. So that adds another part of play, part of realism, part of real life. And who knows? Turn somebody into a truck driver, right? I am a big fan of this hauler. Lego has done a number of haulers over the years. We had one a few years ago, like we always do. I was not the biggest fan of that one. It was nice. It just appeared like it was missing something. And, when things feel like they're missing things, they are definitely missing things. And, you never want that to be the case. The only thing that I would have wished would have been done different is I really wish we would have gotten whips with this to be able to add in here for the realism effect, to be able to play, actually unhook them and hook them up and set the trailer separately. I wish that would have been the thing that was done. It's not a detractor for any reason. I think it's a gorgeous little set. It's a nostalgia factor for me. Is it worth $100? I believe so. If you thought the Lego truck was, this definitely is. That felt more like a collector piece and something to add to your city versus this feels more like a play set. You get a driver, you get your 3 car drivers, you get your truck driver, you get your 3 cars, you get your play function in here. I would have been happy with this as 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 28-year-old me, right? I would have been okay with it. I think it adds a different value when you have 3 different kinds of cars. We've seen different car haulers before. I harken back to, I believe it was 98, maybe. We've seen them with the IndyCar or Formula. I think that was Formula One. It might've been Indy. I don't remember. The names were different, but the cars were pretty much identical. Same kind of idea back then as it is now. Obviously, these builds are more robust, and I'm a fan of them. I think they turned out really well. Again, playset much more so than the Lego truck was, without a doubt. I know somebody's going to argue with me on it, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I just felt like this was more of a playset than the other one was. While you did have the forklift and you had all the other stuff, that felt more like I'm going to plop you down in my city. Forklift, maybe, I can use it. Give it a little idea of like, hey, we're unloading the truck. But other than that, nah, this is definitely a playset. So 2 solid editions, really, really impressive for what they have to offer. So yeah, I definitely think they are worth the money. The buses, like I said, the bus is more of going to be a showpiece. This one is not. This little playset is a playset, and it should be, and it's fun. I'm telling you, you get on the floor with your kid, you're going to have some fun. So that's going to wrap up the episode. We do have some more Lego City stuff that is going to be coming. We're going to talk about the harbor next. That is huge. The harbor is massive. It's a complete show in its own, just due to the sheer fact of everything that it has to offer. It is a beautiful addition to Lego City, and it definitely needs talked about. So until we meet again, I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's count on it.